Qualified Podcast. I'm your host, Hassan. With me, I have a living legend, boxing legend, Evander Holyfield. Champion for 3 decades. Unbelievable for me to be with you right now. Thank you so much. This is for actually the meet and greet event with the champions. You're going to be here with champion Reggie Johnson as well, 3-time world champion. For us, we just have a couple of questions for you. Being a legend, I got to ask you, who do you think your favorite fighters that you faced are?
I would say Tyson, Reddick, and Leonard.
Tyson, Reddick, Leonard. All good fights. So for me as a kid, my situation is that I've been watching ever since I was able to process what boxing was. I came from a small boxing family as well. So when you are dealing with these 3 as champions, could you say just why individually you like those 3?
Well, the thing is about the chances that the individual took, you know what I'm saying, and being the very best that they could be. You know, Tyson, the reason why Tyson the first one, people forget how small he was.
True, really compact.
Yeah, and the people that he fought, he was a lot bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, he fought giants.
Yeah.
And, he knocked them out. And Lennox is a very good thinker.
Yeah.
Like that, you know.
Action fighter.
Yeah. He'll think and he gonna do anything to win, to outthink you. Okay. In the thinking part. And Reddick Bowe was he was a bully.
Right.
He was a bully. He was a bully.
Yeah.
You know, he told me, he was younger than me, about 6 years younger. Told me, he looked at me and said, a big good man better than a good little man. I said, what you saying? And so now he was an amateur and I was pro.
Yeah. And
we sparred. And he would try to win. I light him up.
Yeah.
I light him up, I'm the point about it, But I realized he had courage. Now I was like that when I was the smallest, I was the youngest one in the family. Everybody tell me what to do and stuff. So, I was wondering when my day is gonna come when I can be the best.
True.
And I would pretty much tell him, look, man, you're gonna be good, but not right now.
Not right now.
It ain't your turn.
Not yet.
I just kind of believe that everybody got a turn.
True.
I remember one of the greatest things when me and George, we fought, and everybody would ask me and say, well, y'all both Christians, what's gonna happen? I said, has George ever been heavyweight champion of the world? They said, yeah. I said, okay, then it's my turn. That's it. I said, hey, we ain't got to argue about it. It's just my turn.
Fair enough. So these 3, right? So if you call Mike Tyson hardcore fighter, built like a fire hydrant, super fast but small, you got Lennox Lewis, intellectual fighter, and you have Reddick Bowe being the bully. What do you consider yourself?
Well, I never thought about that, but I wanted to be the very best. Now, I always pray, Lord, I just want to be the very best I can be.
Yeah.
And whatever that would be, then I just landed there. Sure. So I didn't try to say, I'm going to knock you out. I'm not going to make no excuses or nothing.
Yeah.
So the art of it, my whole thing, I try to be real righteous. Sure. What is righteous? Even as, I've been places where that I was doing the right thing. The people cheated me and everybody acted like it was okay. So it's up to me to have a good attitude or a bad attitude. I wanted to be right in whatever position I was in at that time. And so, but all this came from my mom. My mom was always telling me, stop complaining so doggone much. Why you argue? My mama wanted me to be better. She didn't want me to be less. Yeah. So she was telling me, don't act this way. You got to act in a way, act like Jesus. Jesus, all this stuff Jesus went through. So I'm trying to actually be like Jesus, trying to live righteous, and everything I do, didn't complain. Yeah. I ain't complaining, but I'm just clearly like, I wanted to fight. Yeah. They ain't give it to me, but my mama said, sip it up. zip it up, and you know, and I remember, man, I would always be able to tell my mama what happened. My mom said, "Okay, then." I said, "Mom, when I go to district," she said, "They get to the other person." I said, "Okay, then." Instead of trying to wait to 3 rounds, try to get them out before 3. Use all your energy early.
Yeah.
And then when I started doing that, I started knocking people out.
Yeah.
But because when it came down to decision, you know, the referee, not the referee, but the judges get to make their own decision about who they thought won. Now, who is you to think that you can tell somebody what they thought?
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, so.
Yeah. 28 knockouts. Mm-hmm. 28 knockouts, not bad. But you also went almost 30-0 in the beginning, right? Also for Team USA. You know what I think? Just if I could, from my observation as a fan, what I was seeing you when you were fighting, all these, even your top 3, even the ones that you didn't mention, you acquiesced to their style. You saw what they did and said, okay, no, we're gonna take this up a notch. All right, so if Tyson is trying to play the inside with you, which is his style, then you're gonna keep him at a distance. That was brilliant when I was watching how you handled it, because I think honestly, Lennox took notes from you when he was fighting Tyson, because you're the pioneer of how to actually break that style. You frustrated him a lot, clearly we know what happened. But that was, to me, in a live fight, this is not something that your coaches are dealing with. This is you making that decision to say, okay, well, I got to keep him off me the right way. Still peppering him, still giving. It was beautiful to watch it. I'm still getting goosebumps thinking about it. But that, to me, if I could say so, is an intellectual fight, because you thought about what was going on and then decided to take it into a direction that you could make it work for you better.
Well, it was one of the things where, at a young age, my mama said, "Stop making excuses."
Yeah.
So life is about not making excuses.
Sure.
I'm saying, it happened to you one time. Okay, then how do you make the judgment?
Yeah.
So I realized that you're living in a world where these things, when they come to anybody else's opinion, they can think whatever they want.
Yeah.
And you got to eat it and go about your business. Because my whole life I came up in the Word of God, and my grandmama is one that told me, he said, "He's the one gonna change the family." And my brothers and sisters didn't like that, man. I was like, why would you tell them that? And all this, by me being the youngest, so everything always happened to me like that. But my grandmama said, "You're gonna change it." Only one was stuck with my grandmama, so she was always praying, man. She praises, she foaming at the mouth, and like this, and so I was with her all the time, man. Now I wasn't afraid of her, so when we in the old folks' home, and so she in a wheelchair and I'm pushing, she said, "You scared, ain't you?" She said, "Well, but come on and get in the chair with me." And she would just roll by. She would never tell them that. Now, I was just as big as them, but they ain't have nobody to come and sit. I was always seeing my grandmama and stuff like this, so my grandmama always say, "No, come on, stay over here," like they were gonna do something. We're kind of selfish when I got older. I said, that's kind of selfish. They ain't have nobody to see them, and with me, I didn't know. They just looking, so they ain't said that, so it kind of looked kind of spooky to them. Sure, yeah. And my grandma, "Well, come on, get up in the chair with me."
You was a grandbaby.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's all right. So, listen, I really appreciate the talk. I'm not going to take up a lot of your time. I do have another boxing question for you. So if you're looking at how your favorite fighters were that you faced, who are your personal all-time favorite fighters?
Well, Marvin Hagler. And the reason why Marvin Hagler, I'm like, it was just the way I raised. My mom was talking about your attitude, how you display. You don't embarrass like that. If we both good fighters, I beat you. I beat you, but I'm not gonna make you look like you ain't nothing. Like this, and so somehow when you showboat on people, you tell the person you ain't nothing. Yeah. Like this, so Marvin Hagler was another fighter that I seen when he came down to fight. He just come in that fight. When it's over, he gonna come to get you, If he gets you, fine. If he didn't get you, fine.
Yeah.
But he went on showboat on you and all that. He ain't gonna make you look like you didn't deserve to be in there with it.
Sure.
And so, I'm so as, I guess, the entertainment and the game of boxing that my mama told me, you don't need to participate in that part. It take courage to get up there in the ring. So now all of a sudden you bring yourself down by acting like he wasn't nothing.
Right.
Instead of realizing that, y'all putting y'all both life on the line to get in there. So I know how it feels before I get in there. I'm like, no way, everybody. But I was able to never have to think of that dark side and just say, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about it's almost close every time I go in the ring that at any given time I'm about to change my mind. Because I have this thing where can't nobody make me do nothing I don't want to do. And and I'm like, man, y'all need to ring this bell. You need to ring this bell, I'm gonna go the other way.
Yeah.
And once I go the other way, then I ain't gonna let you change my decision. You ain't gonna change my mind.
I get it. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Honestly, I thought about this all the way up here. I didn't think you were going to use him. I didn't think he was going to be the one. I'm actually surprised. I like it. I think that he being an exemplary ringman was the same as what I saw when I watched you. I'm looking at history, so it's kind of like I'm trying to really stay focused. But at the same time, I wanted to thank you for your career. I wanted to thank you for all the work that you put in because you were a model athlete, if I could say so. Looking at the history of what you've accomplished. That's all I got for questions. I really appreciate your time, though.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. The champ, Mr. Evander Holyfield.